Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Christina Armstrong. I am the founder of the Stewards of Chianu Society, located on the Beecher Bay First Nation. I'm coming to you today with Elder Earl. We are hoping to record Elder Earl's stories to be able to share not only with his community, but with everyone else as we need to start doing this. We've been working at this for about 3 years now,
Yes.
trying to get to this point. So we're very excited. So if I feel like a little beish, ask anybody. That's me all the time. But we really just wanted to make sure that these stories aren't lost. And I'm very proud. We have Miss Mia Taylor, who I call my daughter, sitting behind the camera here. And Earl also has his helper today, Harold. And we really just want to we're going to start off today with Elder Earl introducing himself and sharing a couple, two, three stories, whatever he feels like sharing today. We just filled ourselves up with food so that we remember the occasion. That's also tradition. When you share knowledge, you share food so that you absorb what you're being taught. So hopefully through these videos, we'll be able to kind of guide you through sharing stories and taking that knowledge in. I'm just very proud that I have Elder Earl to share these stories with me. I share the ones that I can remember. So we're hoping to make sure that this is available for everyone so that if you need that culture, you need those stories. If you don't know those stories, you're able to access them through our site. So I am going to step out here and I'm going to, oh, and traditionally I just got my indigenous name at the end of August, Chanin. It's a Kalalam name. It means wind woman moves fast. I talk fast. I don't know if you're really like, but that's Chanin. So I'm glad to meet all of you. And if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will start putting information on that later. So I'm going to step out and I'm just going to allow Elder Earl to speak.
All right, thank you. Aishka. Okay, my English name is Earl Claxton Jr. and my Sanchatan name is Sesaitan. And that name comes from my great-great-grandfather from Malahat. And he was a very stubborn man. And when the European people first came here, they couldn't speak our language and we couldn't speak theirs. So they came into our territory with a hat with names in it, and we were asked to pick a name out of the hat, and that would become our last name. But my great great grandfather, Sesaitan, whose name I carry, he said, "No, my name is Sesaitan. That's it. I'm not changing my name." And so Claxton is the anglicized version of Sesaitan. And I always thank my ancestor for his stubbornness long ago. Um, and I also carry a name on my mother's side from Squamish, North Shore, Vancouver, and that name is Chiapeleno or Capilano. So I'm a direct descendant of Chief Capilano from North Shore, Vancouver. And whenever I speak of Chief Capilano, I like to mention two of his brothers, Kitsilano and Coquitlam. So they must have been a powerful family to have places named after them. So I wear all of my names with great pride. And I always remember when I went to Vancouver to the Longhouse over there and I received that name in the Longhouse, how my mother, because she was or is a residential school survivor, she had lost all those things. She said her childhood was stolen from her. and I think she almost cried that day when I took that name because she felt like it was coming back to her as well. So I was very, very happy to do that for her. And as for stories, I tell many, many stories. And one I think I'd like to share with you today is the creation of the deer story. And long ago, there was an extremely handsome young man, and his name was Smythe. And he thought he was too good. He was too smart. He was too good looking. And he thought it would be a real waste for him to be changed into something. So he decided that he was going to kill Hales, the creator, when he came. So he traveled out to Souk to collect the large mussel that grows out only from about Souk all the way to the other end of the Vancouver Island. And he collected those mussels and brought them back to Saanich to a place along West Saanich Road. There's a place there called Red Barn, and there's a lake or water body in behind there, and it was at the north end of that water body that he went and he cooked the mussels and ate them, and he broke the shells apart, and the mussels, the large mussels that grow out there, have a real hard, thick shell, and he was deciding he had a hard stone, so he wanted to put an edge on the shell on the pointed end and make it a sharp point. And he finished that, and he decided he was going to make the sharpest arrows ever to kill Hales, the creator. And he started to sharpen his arrows, and there was a man watching him while he was sharpening the arrows. And the man said to him, "What is it you're doing there?" And he was so busy he didn't even look up or to see who it was that said that. And he said, "I'm sharpening these arrows and making them the sharpest arrows ever so I can kill Hales when he comes, because I don't want to get changed into something." And Hales said, "Well, I'm Hales, so bring me those arrows." So he stood up and he took the two arrows over to Hales and he handed him the arrows. And then Hales took some magic dust out of his pocket and he threw it on Smythe and transformed him into the four-legged creature that we know today. And he took the two arrows and he jammed it into the back legs of Smythe. And that's why that deer has a bent leg in the back, because the arrows are still in there yet. And he turned to walk away, and Hale says, "Wait a minute, I haven't finished with you yet. Come back here." So Smythe turned and came back, and he took the two shells that he was sharpening, and he stuck it into the top of his head, and that became Smythe's ears. And if you see that deer today, or Smythe, it has the same shape as those shells. It looks like his ears were mussel shells. And when when you go hunting and somebody asks where you're going, you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to hunt some deer or some Smythe." That's the name we use today. Is that young man's name for the deer? We call it Smythe because we believe that they can hear us, and they hear you, then when you go hunting, you won't get anything because they hide real good. They know how to hide. And that place where he was transformed into a deer is called Wismayasin. Wismayasin. And whenever you hear at the beginning part of a Sanchatan word, it means the people of or the place of. So that place means the place of the deer. And it's a sacred place, I guess, because if you go hunting there, it's really hard to get a deer there because they have so many places to hide. They know where to hide there. There's lots of good places. So Smythe, I grew up, my dad was a hunter and he used to go out hunting every now and then and bring home deer and we'd have deer for supper. And that kind of makes me think of the seal. Um, my grandfather, late Johnny Claxton, he loved seal. And for any special occasion at, at our house for the family, he went out and got a seal and he made seal soup. That was the thing that he always did. And he used to make seal floats from the seal skins. He'd skin it, and I've seen seal skin float, and I've always wanted one. I've always wanted to make one, but I've never had the chance. So I'm really hoping that I get a chance to do that with you.
We'll work on it for you. Yes, I am. Mia's totally down for that. Yeah, that's happening. For sure.
Excellent.
Did you want to take a little break?
I can say a little bit more. Um, those mussels, my grandfather, that was one of his favorite foods. So he made special trips out to Souk to collect the shell, the mussel, the large sea mussels that grew out there. And of course, we had the smaller ones here in the bay, Sanchiton Bay, which is just down the road here. And we used to use the mussel shells for tweezers to get when you're picking the trailing blackberry. You always got little thorns because the thorns come off real easy on that plant and they stick in you and they're tiny and they're hard to get out, but you can get them out real easy with the mussel shells. Yep.
That's cool.
Seals? No, other than my grandpa. Oh, I guess, yeah, I do have a little bit more. I went to, I was invited to a conference out, I'm not sure, it could have been Sioux, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it was out in that direction, and they served seal that day. And they gave you a little rib and a piece of the seal fat. And I'd never tried it before. And I thought, well, I'm going to try maybe a little bite of the rib. And so I took a little tiny bite and oh man, I couldn't eat it.
Yeah,
It
so
was,
smoke.
I'm not sure how it was prepared. It looked smoked, but I couldn't eat it. It was just too oily flavor. I couldn't handle it. And I started to think, how far have we come? Where that used to be my grandpa's favorite food, and now I can't even eat it. So, so you really, I guess it must be an acquired taste, I suppose. But I didn't even try the fat after that.
Maybe that just goes to show the importance of what we've lost and what we need to get back.
Yes.
We didn't have a choice but to eat that. Really, we relied on those systems to keep our families fed. So, traditionally, bringing stuff like that back. Yeah, I know it's my microphone.
Oh.
I'm just having a discussion with you.
Okay, I think the next thing I'd like to talk about is how we got the idea of using a cedar tree to make a canoe out of it. And I got this story from um, one of my elders. He's gone now, late Raymond Sam from Seout. And he said that we got the idea from when the Thunderbird came here to visit us. And the Thunderbird was so huge that when it flapped its wings, it created the thunder. And lightning shot from its feet. And lightning hit the top of the cedar tree, came down the tree, and shot up into the ground from the tree and burnt a hole at the bottom of the tree. And when the Sanders saw that burn hole at the bottom of the tree, they realized they could hollow out the rest of the tree and make a canoe from it. So when a canoe was being made, they would go into the forest and select a tree that for its straightness, it's for its width, and when the tree was taken down for this, the bark was immediately peeled off the tree for use for making clothing or hats and mats and baskets, and even for um, the roots were dug up, and uh, the bark peeled off the root like it would just pull off by hand, and then it could be split in the middle, and it could be, when it was split like that, the grain was so even and straight through the root that you could pull it apart like that, and then weave those two pieces or other pieces into a clam basket that you could make. And I had an aunt, um, and she could go out into the forest and dig up the roots and make two baskets in about half an hour.
Oh.
Amazing. So I've always wanted to try doing that too. Yeah. Myself. But it continued on the construction of the canoe. The outside part of the canoe was shaped first, and the inside was left solid. And then it was chipped out with an adze hand tool that you could chip out the middle. And then when that was completed, they filled the canoe with urine. And they would let it soak into the wood, and this prevented the wood from cracking. So I asked my dad, I said, how did they get so much urine to fill the canoe? And he said, the chief declared that all the urine in the village was his. And he said, soon the canoe would be full and soaked into the wood. And this works. There was a young fella in sail about 15 years ago or so, decided he was going to carve a canoe. And he did. He got the tree and he carved it out, but he didn't treat the inside. And it cracked from one end to the other halfway up the canoe. And there's no way you can repair that. So after the canoe was treated, they dumped out the urine and filled the canoe with water. And then they went down to the beach and they collected the special stones that we used in the pit cook, the volcanic stones that were hurled from across the water, a place called Mount Baker in English. I don't know, I don't know what it is in Sanchotin, but we have many stories of stones being hurled from there. So our beaches are full of those kind of stones. And they would go down and collect piles of the stones, and they'd make big piles around the canoe. And then they'd put a fire over the stones, and they'd heat the stones to red hot. And then they'd transfer the stones into the canoe with giant tongs that they'd made from a tree branch. And soon the water would be hot and steaming and boiling, and the wood would become soft, and the weight of the stones pushed out the middle of the canoe. And that's how they widened their canoes long ago. It is. It really is amazing. And I thank my ancestor, Raymond Sam, for sharing that story with me.
Keeping that story alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that with sorry, do you think that it's about giving a part of yourself to something that you've taken more than like I'm sure there's like scientific things behind it.
There is.
Yeah.
So Mia was just asking.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Oh. I've always seen
There we
it
go.
on microphones and little videos where people. I always think it's so cute. Anyhow.
So do you want to ask and re-ask the question?
Yeah. So, with the urine, do you think that part of that is about giving a part of yourself for, because the tree, we've had to follow a tree in order to build the chapel to the canoe. Do you think that like everybody, like basically urinating the canoe is a part of giving yourself? Um, that's kind of like the exchange that we do when we've taken something from our grandmother Earth.
Yes, I do. I think the whole, back then, our communities were one group, and we all lived together in the longhouse. There was 5 or 6 families per longhouse, and we all lived in there and shared space and lived amongst each other. And so this was a way to share during the hard times, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's so amazing. It's so interesting how we kind of knew about things without knowing like the science or the math behind it. It's just we actually knew because of our connection. I think that's really beautiful.
Well, the Juanitan borrowed some of that knowledge.
Yeah.
And if you go to the paint store and you look for some stain and you look in the ingredients, you see one of the main ingredients is urea in there. So it's something that they use too. And they're always wanting to borrow or steal, I guess you'd say. And that kind of makes me think of during the Sanderson Bay Marina court case, they were cross-examining my dad, and the lawyer that was cross-examining him was really starting to dig and irritate my dad, and I could see he was getting ready to explode. And just at that time, the judge must have had to go to the bathroom or something. He said, "Okay, we're going to take a 15-minute break." And our lawyers told us that you weren't allowed to coach or talk to the person that was on the stand about the case. And I knew that my dad needed somebody to talk to him about that. So I instructed all our elders to go and talk with my dad and speak only in Sinchatan. So they spoke to him and calmed him down, and he was able to get through it after that. But during that break, I was out in the hallway with late Phil Paul from Sartlip, and there was a lawyer for the province, and his name was Norm Perlipshin, and he talked to you like your old buddies, old pals from way back, and he walked up to us and he said to Phil, it was a real hot sunny day like today, and he said to him, "Indian summer, eh?" And Phil didn't really, he just looked at him and he said, "Yep." And he said, "That's something you can't steal from us." Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. What was the court case about, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, they wanted to put a marina in Sanderson Bay.
Oh.
And this is a story that I can tell either now or somewhere down
It's
the road.
totally, like, if it's a long story, maybe save it for like one segment that we'll do later.
Yeah,
But,
I think I'll do that.
okay. I guess you can explain where we are. I didn't do that at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're at a place called the Waddling Dog pub and restaurant here. And we had lunch here. It was real nice. It's a delightful meal.
And we are on.
Got traditional Sanish territory. There's 4 village sites on the peninsula: Seon, Sartlip, Pakwachin, and Sek. And we have one other um, of our tribe that's down in the Washington state, the Lummi, are Saanich, and they got cut off by the 49th parallel. And that was put in without our consent or even asking us about it or anything. They just did it. So I remember one time traveling, my dad said he got hired by the Lummi to go to and talk about Senchatan down there. And he asked me if I'd go. And I said, yes, I would. And we got down there, and he ran into a fella that was from Lummi, and he didn't know this fella. And they started speaking Sinchothan, and they just talked like old friends, just like he'd known him for a long, long time. And I was just so amazed, I couldn't believe it, that I could hear them talking like that, like old pals from way back, but they had only just met. Just incredible.
It just goes to show, I think it just goes to show that there is so many connections that when colonization happened, they broke those connections. Just like with my Kalalam name. I just turned 50 and I'm just getting my Kalalam name now.
Yes.
And we had to, my mom and my sister and them had to fight to have that recognized as a language up here, even though a lot of our elders from over here, like the Sampson, Thomas, Charles, brought that language back to Elwha and helped teach it down there, along with the other teachers that were there, and that we could prove our history and our ancestors. But that connection is still not recognized even in our own nation, right? We do have Sinchothan and Hulkamalum, Hulkaminum. We are Kalalam,
Yes.
right? So that's what I like to tell people. It's just like, I didn't understand that it's not pride to be able to say I am Kalalam. That's history.
Yes.
And I didn't realize how important that was until the last couple of years. I've worked towards making sure that we are able to share and connect and bring youth and adults and non-First Nations people together, because that's the only way things are going to work. But I never understood until the last couple of years why it mattered so much to make sure I said I am Kalalam. And I think that's the story that you're telling there as well. Like, we're not the only ones that are disconnected. Other nations got disconnected from family down that way for different reasons.
Yes.
And through colonization and through borders being put in, a lot of us don't even realize that.
Yes.
But also, I was going to say also like that, what you're experiencing, what you experience with like your nation not necessarily recognizing the language is also not necessarily on part of the nation, but their desire to kind of fit in with everybody else in the same area and get like the same kind of funding. And there's all these resources that are available for that because that's what we've been focusing on is and not club, right? So I find that like there's beauty in languages and being able to speak multiple languages.
Mhm.
There's beauty in recognizing it, but also with your friends when they're speaking like old friends, that connection in like you can speak this too, like that connects me so deep more than anything else. I think is language and our capacity to utilize it in a good way together. And I just think that it's so important that we recognize that there were multiple languages.
Mhm.
Like it's not a burden to learn more than one, and have pride in yours.
Yeah, I think that for like a lot of nations too, like we're multi-speaking. Sinchothan, Hulkamalum, Hulkaminum.
Yes.
But we were also Kalalam.
Yes.
So it's not about not accepting the other languages in the nation. It's like nations not accepting that we are Kalalam first.
Yes.
Right? And I think that goes to the story that you were just explaining, that there were lines put in place, and through generations we've lost who we are. So that's why we've been working 3 years to get to this point. People need to hear. And
Yes.
so I'm hoping, like, starting this with Elder Earl, because you've been with the Stewards of Chianu for 4 years now. And we've been trying to do this for 3.
Yes.
And one thing that stuck with me when we talked, and it got me so emotional, is these stories are going to be gone.
Yes, and I don't want to take this knowledge to the grave with me.
Yeah.
My dad used to say, he said, all this knowledge that I have here, he said, it's not mine. He said, it belongs to everyone. And so I've taken on that attitude and I try and tell as many people as possible my stories.
And we're gonna make sure you make a seal float.
Yes.
You gotta say that again.
Oh, I said we're gonna make sure you make a seal float. This is happening. I'm gonna go out and get a seal this weekend anyway, so now I know what I'm gonna do with part of it.
I think we've been sitting here for quite a bit. I'm gonna come back and sit over here with you, Earl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We should all take a picture.
Yes.
together of
Can you
one.
turn this this
Yes,
way?
I will.
So we've been here quite a bit, and I really want to thank you for coming today. I think that's enough for today. I mean, we are going to keep sharing, and I'm thankful that you are willing to come out and share. I've been wanting so much to do this for so long. I'm like literally bouncing off my seat right now. And Mia figured out the microphones earlier, thankfully. But I just want to honor you by saying thank you. Like,
Oh, Aishka.
it's when you said that to me about these stories are going to be gone and that it's not mine to hold, it really sunk in. I felt bad because it took so long for us to get here, right?
Yes, and I always encourage whoever I'm working with to videotape
Yeah.
me and to save it.
Yeah.
Because I know many the Queens of people, they ask me afterwards if any of this stuff is in a book, and I tell them that it's not, and they tell me that
Yeah.
I should write a book about and save these stories. But I think with technology these days that they will be saved.
Yeah, so we're planning on doing for everybody out there. I asked that if you want to share these stories, we've said that we can share it with the Elder Earl's community and the school. But if you want to share this anywhere else, please ask permission, especially if you are non-indigenous. I'm sorry, but these are stories that should be shared with the communities. Our future goals for all of this, we're going to continue to come and sit down and share a meal and share stories periodically throughout the next few months. But our plans are actually to turn these stories into AI cartoons and AI comic books. This is the future goal. Then that way your words will be written, and then hopefully we can talk my mumsy Alonka into doing books in the future.
Yes.
Avatars, and I'm going to show you those books. They're amazing. I'll send it to you later. But I just really want to reiterate how thankful I am that you're willing to share stories. I I was given the tools that I had when I was young, and I really believe that this is a strong foundation. All the work that everybody does, but the strongest foundation is hearing where you come from and why these things. I can't wait to get into the war stories. Those are going to be really cool. But I just really want to say thank you. I think that's enough for today. Like, we don't want to push this too hard. Your health is my concern as well.
Oh, yes.
Right? And I don't want to overwhelm you. So I think that we will stop here. I'll let you just share any final thoughts with everybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a bit about my mom and dad.
Okay. Over here.
My my dad, um, he spoke 5 languages: Sinchothan, Halkamalan, Chinook. That was the trading language. English, and right. I I don't remember the 5th one.
Yeah.
But he was amazing language-wise, uh, and helped the fellow tribal school to get their Senchatan programs off the ground and running. And Other elders, of course, were involved there. Was one was late Dave Elliott from Sartlet, who was a strong believer in the Douglas Treaty, and also had great concern about the loss of the language that was happening at that time because of the residential school experiment, I call it. And he decided that he was going to invent an alphabet so that the language could be taught at the school from grade 1 to grade 6 at that time. But the councils realized that the language was still being lost, so they approached Stelly's school and asked if they could teach Sinchothan, and they agreed, and it's being taught there at the school. And uh, it's been kind of, I guess, music to my ears to hear Sinchothan being spoken fluently by our young people that are coming up. And I knew this was happening because of the uh, program that we had next to the school, the Pepecan Oat plant program that we had going. One day, one of the students came through and she asked me a question in Sanchatan, and I didn't know what she said. I was stumped and astounded and thinking, how nice is this that the students that are coming through, they're becoming fluent in speaking the language. And also at the school, at Stelly's school, they introduced an app to the students so that now the students can text in Sinchatan to each other. So I have great hope for the survival of our language. Because my dad said that once you lose your language, he said you become just like them. And he said that Quinnipiac people, they can move and go anywhere. They don't have any roots here, so they're from all over the place here. So it made me think about that. That our language is our roots here, and very important. Our place names for each of our places have an important meaning. Like Sayot here means houses in the air, because the way the terrain rises up, and when they were on the canoes looking in towards the village, there was an optical illusion. It looked like the houses were floating or lifted into the air. So that's how Sayot got its name. And all the places in our territory have a specific meaning. Um, uh, and I'm so glad that my dad documented that as well. He did a place name map for the school that he completed with our cousin from Sartlet, uh, John Elliott, Stolquist. Uh, there's a new name now. I haven't learned his new name. So, but the Elliott family is very strong over the Sartlet side. The revival of the language, especially there. Um, and late Dave Elliott did invent an alphabet for us to learn. And I'm told that we're one of the few indigenous groups in the world that have developed their own alphabet. Other ones have been done by linguists and professors and other other kinds of people, but not people from our own. Yes. And he was working, the late Dave, he got up to about his ninth model and they weren't working. And then one night he had a dream about the alphabet. And he got up at about 2 o'clock in the morning and he wrote down the alphabet that he was dreaming about. And that's the one that's being used today to teach our students. It is.
I kind of wanted just to share a quick story. I think I did tell Elder Earl about this. Again, Elder Earl's been working with us for about 4.5 years,
Yeah.
4 years, almost since we started. So we're actually 5 years this December for the Stewards of Charity.
Yeah, I think you were just starting it
Yeah.
out at that garage or whatever,
Yeah, I
whatever
don't even
that
think
was.
we established it was going to be our shop yet.
No, I don't think you did.
No. So I just wanted to share a story just to show how far these stories go and how you never know who you're going to impact. Elder Earl's come out to our groups that we've worked with through the Victoria Friendship Center, Tony Cicchetti, Nadia. I can't say her last name. I'm sorry, Nadia. Yeah, I'll tag you in it later. But Earl had come out either on the land at the shop or downtown areas, or we came to him for him to share willow tea, how to make baskets out of maple leaves for your berries.
Oh, thimbleberry leaves.
Yeah.
They look like
Yes,
maple,
thimbleberry leaves.
but they're thimbleberry.
Yeah.
And my granny showed me that,
Yeah.
how to do that.
Yeah. So he's come out quite a few times to teach that. But the willow tea, I actually had a group of preschool, kindergarten, grade 1 students come out from, I can't even remember where it was, Paquachin, I think, or it could have been out from out here. They came out on a bus. There was like 6 of them, and there's this one little girl that was just like, I wish I could remember her name. This is almost 2.5 years ago. But she kept following me around asking questions and everything, and I'm just like loving it because she's just like totally engulfed in it. And then we got into the willow tea. Showed them how to smash it up with the little hammers, break the ends and everything. And I was like, I'm so thankful for Elder Earl for teaching me that. She looks up, she goes, Elder Earl. And she's just like, stop everything she was doing. She's like, who are you talking about? And I was like, Earl Claxton. And she goes, Poppy, you learned this from my Poppy? It was just like, so that whole teaching came back around to Elder Earl's granddaughter. And she was like, I didn't know he knew that stuff. And I was like, you probably did. You probably just didn't listen. So it all comes around. It goes around.
Yes.
I'm going to have to find out her name. I'll message Renee because I know. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
Renee Peterson that brought them out, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. She was just so amazed that her puppy knew this. She goes, I'm going to have to go talk with him. And she got all serious. She goes, okay, what are we doing here? She just got right into it. It was like, that's how much of an effect your teachings have through me to your granddaughter.
Yes.
It's like, you probably explained it to her how many times and she didn't listen fully.
Yeah, they tend to forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you. I think we're going to stop for today. I'm going to introduce Miss Mia. This is Miss Mia Taylor. She can come over this way and say a few words about who she is. And to say thank you to Earl.
Yeah. Hi, Sheila. Thank you. Okay, so I'm Mia. We already met. I'm the CEO of Dreamcatcher Holistic Health Services. We do mobile holistic health programs, and this also includes hunting and learning how to use all of an animal, learning how to respect our lands and reconnect with them. I've been out here for quite some time. Christina is my adopted mom, but my family is originally down in the States, and then we're a mix of Freedmen and Choctaw descents. So I actually got to visit my nation recently, which was pretty amazing, and they have a really big cultural center and lots of casinos. But honestly, nowhere has ever felt like home as much as this island. So I am also incredibly grateful to everyone for allowing me to be here and for sharing your stories, because that's the true history of this place and it's beautiful. So yeah, cool.
Yes, I look forward to future
I'm super stoked
sharing.
about the seal buoy thing that we're gonna be making.
She's gonna be bringing you hides and everything floats.
Oh,
Everything now.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it together though.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to learn how to do that.
I was at the Indigenous Fashion Show last year, and I'd seen a seal skin like maxi dress, like a cute summer dress, but it was like seal skin, and it was stunning. I don't know where I'd wear it. I don't wear that kind of stuff, but I wanted it. And my friends have some hides up island, and we're gonna go process them this weekend. So I'm thinking that maybe I can bring some down, and maybe we can organize to get a few youth together and learn how to make those floats.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome. Super awesome.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna sneak back in here, and yes, we're gonna call it a day. This is just the beginning of a long process that we're finally there.
Yes, finally.
Finally. So keep
Some
watching.
progress.
Yes, progress finally on this end of it. Keep watching. Again, Elder Earl, I thank you for. I'm so excited that we're finally at this point. Again, I'm Chrissy Armstrong, Stuart Ciano. This is Elder Earl and Miss Mia Taylor. You guys need to, if you guys have any questions or if you want to take part in sharing your stories, let us know. Even if we have to split the team up and do it like same day, we'll do it. So,
All right.
hi, everybody. Thank you.